any cool nicknames that we didn't know about?
No.
No. Okay.
I said to Xavier, I said, I don't really know much about comic books, but I assume I'm probably the bad guy or something. I'm not sure.
Let's just start with Xavier. Just how do you feel like his presence, how his presence started kind of affecting your
I mean, it's obvious how polished and what a high level IQ player he is. I mean, he's obviously a great teammate. Um, he did a great job of being ready to play and getting everybody involved, and was certainly worth the wait.
I know Simon wasn't here tonight, but your team was almost at full strength, we'll call it. And just thinking back to Xavier being the first signing and putting all these pieces together now to see your team effectively almost at full strength now for the first time this season. Just what was that kind of like for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been sort of visualizing what our group could look like since Alex and Megan and I started to put the pieces in place, and Xavier was the first signing. We envisioned obviously having the group that you see with Simon. Um, we know that he's the guy that's going to push the pace and make things easy for everybody. So it definitely was nice to sit back and have them make some decisions on the floor. And we look forward to having a little bit more work ahead and what we're capable of doing.
We've asked you a billion questions about Teddy this year, but I mean, just what can you kind of say about that performance from your perspective, watching him have that kind of night?
Yeah, I mean, he's a special player. I think, when I go watch the film, I'll probably watch his defense and his rebounding and all of those other things that I continue to challenge him to lead by example. I mean, we know that he can score the ball, and obviously on a night like tonight, he'll get a lot of accolades for his ability to put the ball in the hoop. But I think I continue to get up here and sing his praises in terms of the leadership that he's taken with our group, the trust that he's had in me as his coach, his ability to buy into the things that we're preaching that we have to do to be a successful basketball team outside of scoring. So I can't say enough about his commitment to winning.
And then last one from me, just so I can confirm, Trey, was that just import limit or was that otherwise?
Correct.
Yeah. Thanks.
Mike, just further to your point about the defense, I don't remember what the final number was, but I know at one point I think it was like 25-0 for you on points off the turnovers. In a game like that, it's easy to get away from the defense, but it looked like you were committed to it all the way through. How much does Xavier contribute to that part of it as well?
Yeah, I thought he had some great defensive possessions. I mean, he definitely does a really good job of putting pressure on the ball. He's a great communicator. So he adds to our defensive presence when he's off the ball just by making sure that people are early in the actions that they've got to be involved in. I think he's much more physical than he probably gets credit for a guy his size. Did a great job rebounding the ball a few times in traffic. So yeah, he definitely fits our defensive identity. And I was proud of the way that the guys continue to try to work to get stops together.
Would it be accurate to, you talked a little bit about what he brought to the table, but just from watching, just the command of the floor that Xavier seems to have. Probably nothing surprising to you, but not having that all year, how much of a luxury is that now going down the stretch?
Yeah, anytime you can have a guy of his caliber join your group, I think it's obviously a really good thing to have happen. I think he's an extremely special player. He's also a tremendous person. I mean, he's been here for almost a month. He hasn't been able to play. He's been spending tons of time in the community doing different things. He spent a lot of time with the guys that are or have been playing in the games, trying to help them see different things. And he's got a real commitment to winning as well. And I think there was probably somewhat of a narrative about how him and Teddy could coexist in some arenas, and I think they both complemented each other really well tonight, and I think they'll continue to be difficult for teams to deal with.
Coach, obviously one of your biggest margins of victory, if not the biggest of the season so far, and it kind of comes off of a bit of a tough loss in Calgary there. Like, kind of how do you did you kind of approach this as like a bounce back game, or like what do you tell your guys coming into this one?
I mean, we try to take every day as its own opportunity for us to grow and get better. Obviously, we were disappointed with the outcome in Calgary, and in particular the way that we played in some facets of the game. This is a crazy portion of our schedule with travel and game and not a lot of time to practice. And it really puts a ton of onus on the players to be professional and organized and take a little bit of feedback and material to get ready. I mean, we had a travel day, we had a light shoot around this morning to get organized for things that we wanted to do today. But at this point in the season, I mean, a lot of the details for us to be successful are, things that we've talked about several times, and we're hopeful that we can just continue to try to polish those things up and keep getting better day by day.
Sure. You guys had 16 steals tonight, forced 22 turnovers for the other team. You're at the top of the league as far as turnovers forced, steals, blocks. Kind of like, is that a huge focus for you guys? Like just getting up the court, trying to score in transition, force turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously started from day one in terms of trying to build a defensive identity. I mean, we know that we have a lot of talented offensive players, but for us to be successful, we know that we have to play at both ends of the floor. Our offense is the most potent when we're getting stops or rebounds and we're able to run in transition. So, committing to do that for the greater good of the entire group has been something that we've asked everybody to do. And I think for the most part, we've bought into how important that is going to be for us to be successful.
And how do you approach, like, as a coach, over the last month of obviously having Xavier here in practice and knowing that at some point he's going to be a big part of your team, but obviously at the time, isn't, like, how do you kind of, like, yeah, how do you approach that, I guess, just knowing that, if he does end up playing, he's obviously going to be a key player, but, at the time you don't have him.
I mean, I think one thing that really impressed me with our group is, and a lot of it goes to, the quality of person that Xavier is, but I never at any point felt like it was a distraction to what we were trying to do or the focus of the task at hand that day, whether it's practice or preparation or, a game day. And we really just tried to concentrate on the group that we had available, continue to work at the things that we want to work at to get better. And for me, I basically just tried not to think about what it would be like if he was in the game because it was really out of our control. So I think the entire group did a good job of just concentrating on the task at hand each day. And tonight was a lot of fun, and we look forward to doing it again.
Yeah. And with Trey McGowan's obviously having to miss today, and having to kind of balance your guard rotation and playoff minimums and all that stuff. Kind of, what are those conversations like? And I guess just how do you manage guys are gonna have to take a day off, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything came together in really a short quarter. So Trey was the odd man out tonight. Like Teddy said, he's been great for us. I mean, he was really good about understanding the situation today. I think a lot of these guys have played a lot of minutes, so the idea of rest for some is appealing. I think everybody would like to play, but we do have some decisions that we have to make, and we also have to use the number of games we have left to build our rhythm and chemistry, and try to look at what our group looks like with different lineups on the floor and things like that. So we understand that we do have some challenging decisions to make, but I think, going all the way back to talking about training camp and the entire group's commitment to trying to be successful, it's just a buy-in thing, and we've been really fortunate that the group has been committed to winning.
For sure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Congrats again on graduation.